Welcome to the sixth episode of Finnish walkthrough course. Today we are going to talk about months. And like you know already, we use our Finnish notebooks that we have two on our store, the English Finnish fill in the blanks notebook and the Ultimate Finnish notebook as a base for our lessons. Here you can see the structure of the fill in the blanks notebook here. And the Ultimate Finnish notebook is here, chapter number 6, months. You can see here some phrases and here some charts. And today we will learn all the month names and their origins, how to say this, last, next month, or year, and some other useful things like in, after, from, until, before a certain month, and forming sentences with these. So let's start. Uh, First, I will show you the meaning of the months, and I'm using a website called uusikielemme.fi. They had a really good article about this. So the first month is tammikuu, January, tammikuu. And tammi means oak. And like it said here, there are several explanations why it's tammikuu, but here was something interesting. So in some dialects, it means center of a wheel, the middle beam of a mill, or center type words. And that makes sense because tammikuu is in the middle of winter. And I actually saw an interesting comment here in the end. Someone said that in Russian, the oak tree is dub. The word dubak is used for especially cold weather. So maybe there's some kind of a link, or maybe not. I don't know. Then helmikuu is February. Helmikuu. So helmi means pearl, and it's pretty cool. They have here in different Uralic languages pearl. So Karelian helmi, Baltic elmi, Estonian helmes, Livonian helm. I don't know how to pronounce it. March is maaliskuu. Maaliskuu. And maalis is related to the word maa, probably through the adjective maallinen. So maa means ground, country, or earth. So the snow starts to melt in places, revealing the ground underneath. So that might be an explanation. But I have to say actually that in March here in northern Finland we still have a lot of snow in March and April. But yeah, in southern Finland you might already start seeing the snow melting. And then April is huhtikuu. Huhtikuu. Huhta can mean cleared woods. Huhta is actually also a surname that I've seen sometimes. Huhta. And here the explanation is that during April, it was common to burn whole stretches of forest down because the resulting ash fertilized the soil. And it was done in April because the forest wasn't too dry yet in this month, making it easier to control where the fire went. May is toukokuu. And Touko. Touko is actually a name for boys. I have actually one friend who's called Touko. And then I know a few Touko named people. Um, yeah, there are not good theories here about Touko. So theories and some people think it's a loan word from Indo-Aryan or Proto-Aryan. Um, it's quite the same in different Uralic languages, like we see here. But yeah, the origin of Togo is a bit uncertain. June, kesäkuu. And this is quite obvious. Kesä means summer. So kesäkuu. July, heinäkuu. Heinäkuu. And heinä means hay. And in Finland, the hay is cut to be stored as food for cattle to eat in the winter. Apparently, it was done in heinäkuu, in July. Yeah, I don't know that much about things done in the farms, and yeah, my grandparents had a farm and animals close to Tampere, but when I was really small, they sold all the animals. But it would be interesting to know more about all the work and the yearly cycle at the farms and in the fields. August, elokuu. So elo can be translated as crop. But maybe it's an old word because elo. Yeah, I agree. You can find the word elo in some compound words like days elo, like meaning life, coexistence. But as crop, I myself I haven't seen it that much. Maybe yeah, maybe it's an old word in this context. And yeah, the word for harvesting is elon korju. So maybe it comes from here. September, syyskuu. So after the harvest in September, I think it got too cold to do any work in the fields. So syys and syksy both refer to autumn. And syys, yeah, it's often found in compound words such as syyssade, autumn rain, syysloma, autumn vacation, that we have actually, it's actually in October, not in September, but syysloma, we have that in October. Syyshalla, autumn frost. And it's the start of autumn, so syyskuu, September. October, lokakuu, lokakuu. And loka means mud. And the origin for loka is unknown, but could be an ancient Finnish word. November, marraskuu, marraskuu. And like they said here, marras on its own is not very commonly used in modern Finnish, but means dead or dying. I agree. Marras alone, I have never used it, only marraskuu, November. Because dead is kuollut or dying, kuoleva. November is the month when nature dies. So marraskuu yeah, that's why the name. Okay, marraskuu have originally meant the dark times when the spirits of the dead, martaat, are on the move. Okay, I haven't heard about this word, martaat. You can find a sources online that claim marras is an ancient Indo-European loan word in Latin, mors. December, joulukuu, joulukuu. So joulu is Christmas, so Christmas month, joulukuu. But originally the word joulu referred to pagan midwinter celebration. But the meaning changed when Christianity settled down in Finland in the 16th century. So we were at that time part of Sweden, the Swedish kingdom. And it's possible that December was just called talvikuu in ancient Finnish. The term joulukuu would be younger. Finnish adopted the word joulu from Scandinavian or Germanic languages, probably from the Swedish jul. And now let's continue to, yeah, I could actually show you a few things before going to the grammar. So the Julianic calendar, Julianinen kalenteri, was in use in Finland. So here it says in Sweden, but at that time it was Finland was part of Sweden. In Sweden, it was in use until the year 1700, and then shortly between 1712 and 1753. And the Gregorian calendar, let's see what it says here. Okay, here is a pretty cool chart. And it says that January 1st was accepted as the first day of the year. In these, you can see here in this column which year, different places. Ma is country. So Venice accepted this in 1522, Sweden in 1559, so Finland included. Oh, okay, Denmark already in 1300s. And here is the year when the Gregorian calendar was taken in use. And in Finland, 1753, during the Swedish. And next, let's go into the phrases. Or, okay, I probably could just read the names of the seasons first. So I have the charts from the Ultimate Finnish notebook here, and I'll read this column, the seasons of the year. So spring is kevät, summer is kesä, autumn is syksy, winter is talvi. So kevät, kesä, syksy, talvi. And we will actually learn all these in all of these charts included in the Ultimate Finnish notebook. I will now give you some example phrases and how to use them. But first, let's learn the word for date. So päivämäärä. Päivämäärä is date, and how to ask the date. What date is today? Mikä päivämäärä tänään on? So everything is in nominative here in their basic form. Mikä, what, päivämäärä, date, tänään, today, on is. And there are two ways of saying the date in Finnish. The first one is like tänään on plus first the day, which should be like the ordinal number, like the 1st of July in the year 2024. So tänään on 1. heinäkuuta vuonna 2024. And the month is in partitive. So heinäkuuta, like you can see here. In this way, you can just check this column and say you can find the numbers in the previous chapter. You just say the day in ordinal number, like from 1st to 21st, and then add the month in this form. Tammikuu, ensimmäinen, so first day of, so ensimmäinen tammikuuta, helmikuuta, maaliskuuta, huhtikuuta, from this column. And then the year in its basic form, vuonna, which means in the year, and then 2024. So vuonna is from vuosi. So vuonna is it essive vuonna? I cannot remember the case now, but just remember it's like this, vuonna. Or the second way is saying like this. Tänään on heinäkuun 1. I would say probably heinäkuun 1. päivä vuonna 2024. So tänään on heinäkuun 1. päivä vuonna 2024. But here, if you put the month first, it has to be in genitive. Heinäkuun. And ordinal number, 1. päivä, day, vuonna 2024. But if you speak and just say, I think you could say tänään on heinäkuun eka, like, okay, this is colloquial version from ensimmäinen. Heinäkuun eka 2024. So you can also omit saying päivä and vuonna. This is the shortest way of saying the date. Okay, I think I'll just leave it here. And then, what month is it now? Mikä kuukausi nyt on? It's January now. Nyt on tammikuu. Here it's pretty clear. There's nothing difficult here. Everything is in their basic form. So if you ask what month is it now, you can just take the first column if you have the Ultimate Finnish notebook and just say in their basic form what month is it now. What was the last month? Mikä viime kuukausi oli? Last month was December. Viime kuukausi oli joulukuu. So, mikä viime kuukausi oli? Viime kuukausi oli joulukuu. What is the next month? Mikä on seuraava kuukausi? Mikä on seuraava kuukausi? Next month is February. Seuraava kuukausi on helmikuu. Mikä kuukausi on seuraava kuukausi? Seuraava kuukausi on helmikuu. And then you can just take this chart and imagine it's now, okay, now it's July. You can practice saying now it's July. Nyt on heinäkuu. Last month, viime kuukausi oli kesäkuu. ensi kuukausi on elokuu, do like this. And if you have this fill in the blanks notebook, you can write these that you learn here on the empty right page for yourself. So you will also learn all of these. And then next we will learn how to say in like this month, this year, next month, next year, last month, last year. So we have also a chart here. You can see this one. What are you doing this month? Mitä teet tässä kuussa? Mitä teet tässä kuussa? Or colloquially, mitä sä teet tässä kuussa? You don't have to say sä. You can just say mitä teet tässä kuussa. But I personally would say mitä sä teet tässä kuussa. This month I work. Tässä kuussa teen töitä. Tässä kuussa teen töitä. Or colloquially, tässä kuussa mä teen töitä. Or töit. Tässä kuussa teen töitä. Tässä kuussa mä teen töitä. Töitä. And here, tässä kuussa, they both are in innocent case. Tässä kuussa. And töitä, työ is work, like this, työ. And töitä is the plural of työ in partitive case. So työtä would be singular, but töitä is plural, and we just use the plural when we say we work. Teen töitä. You could also say tässä kuussa työskentelen without the tehdä. It's either teen töitä or työskentelen, but I would say that teen töitä is a better option. Where do you live this year? Missä asut tänä vuonna? Missä asut tänä vuonna? Missä asut tänä vuonna? Colloquially, this one. When I speak, I would say missä asut tänä vuonna? So missä becomes miss, but if you say sä, it's like missä sinä asut. So it actually sounds like missä, but it's miss and sä. Missä asut tänä vuonna? This year I live in Lapland. Tänä vuonna minä asun Lapissa. You don't need to say minä. You can also omit minä. Tänä vuonna minä asun Lapissa. Or tänä vuonna mä asun Lapissa. Tänä vuonna asun Lapissa. It's for some reason it sounds more natural if I use a personal pronoun. Tänä vuonna mä asun Lapissa. What are you doing next month? Okay, before continuing, I have to mention that this is a different case, which is a bit confusing. So this month and this year, they use different cases, because in the case of the month, this month, it's inessive, but here it's the essive case, tänä vuonna. And I don't know why it's like this. I can try to find some answers if you're interested. So I'll write them in the comments if I find something. So here in the answer, Lapissa is inessive case in Lapland, Lapissa. What are you doing next month? Mitä teet ensi kuussa? Or mitä teet ensi kuussa? So ensi becomes ens, and kuussa becomes kuus in colloquial speech. And kuus is actually the number 6. The colloquial version would be also kuusi. But you won't mix them up because from the context, you definitely know what if you're talking about in a month or the number 6. Next month I study. Ensi kuussa opiskelen. Or ensi kuussa opiskelen. So you can see here ensi becomes ens, and kuussa again becomes kuussa. And this was in a sick case. So now you know how to, did I have, oh no, actually this one still. Where will you move? Where will you move to next year? Minne muutat ensi vuonna? So minne is like where to. Muutat, you move. Ensi vuonna, next year. Next year I will move to Helsinki. Ensi vuonna muutan Helsinkiin. Ensi vuonna muutan Helsinkiin. Or ensi vuonna muutan Helsinkiin. So vuonna becomes vuon. And Helsinkiin, you drop the N. Helsinki. You can say Helsinki or Helsinkiin. But yeah, if I speak quickly, I think I omit. I just dropped the N. What did you do last month? Mitä teit viime kuussa? Colloquially, mitä teit viime kuussa? Almost the same, except kuussa becomes kuussa. Last month I rested. Viime kuussa lepäsin. Colloquially, viime kuussa lepäsin. Oh, where did you live last year? Missä asuit viime vuonna? Or viime vuoden? So there's a small difference. So missä asuit viime vuonna means generally like it's not specified if it's the whole year. It's just some point of the year last year. Where did you live last year? But viime vuoden means from the beginning to the end of the year. So missä asuit viime vuoden means from January 1st to December 31st. But missä asut viime vuonna, it's like, okay, it could be any, you could have lived in many different places, but if you lived in one place, the majority, you could just say that. So they're slightly different, but yeah. Yeah, slightly different. Now, usually if you speak with someone, it doesn't it's not that important which one you use because you will be understood. Last year I lived in Norway. Viime vuonna asuin Norjassa. Colloquially this would be viime vuonna asuin Norjassa. So now you have questions and answers for this chart. I didn't have a question for that year. You can, because you can use the phrases that I had here. For example, last month, mitä teit viime kuussa? And just instead of viime kuussa, you could just say siinä kuussa. There's nothing difficult. You can just replace ensi vuonna with sinä vuonna or viime kuussa with siinä kuussa. From the from this row, you will just take these and replace them. Replace the phrases, like these parts which have tässä kuussa, ensi kuussa, or something else. But now you should know the logic, how to create these basic phrases, how to ask what did you do this, what are you going to do this month, next month, what did you do last month or that month. So questions about the current, future, and past months or years. So now that we know that, we can continue by learning how to ask about birthdays. So in which month is your birthday? Or I guess in English you don't need in which month is your birthday. Missä kuussa on sinun syntymäpäiväsi? Oh, that's long. I would say miss kuussa on sun synttärit. Again, miss is missä, kuussa. And instead of sinun, you say sun. And instead of syntymäpäiväsi, you say synttärit. Synttärit or syntymäpäivä in the basic form without the possessive suffix. My birthday is in October. Minun syntymäpäiväni on lokakuussa. Or colloquially, mun synttärit on lokakuussa. Or mun syntymäpäivä on lokakuussa. And here, the month is in inactive case. You can find all the forms here from this column. So in whatever month your birthday is, you can say mun synttärit on, and then here, choose the correct one. Or minun syntymäpäiväni on kesäkuussa, tammikuussa, joulukuussa. So that's the formula for that. When do you have some vacation? Milloin sinulla on kesäloma? Kesäloma, some vacation. Milloin, when sinulla on, having. And you should already know the structure of asking, saying that you have something. Because we don't, like, we don't have a word for to have in Finnish. It's a bit similar to maybe Russian, minya, or maybe a bit like Hindi, mere paas. Like the at me, there is, minulla on, sinulla on. Colloquially, this would be milloin sulla on kesäloma? Milloin sulla on kesäloma? Milloin sulla on kesäloma? Yeah, it's hard to actually write these colloquial versions sometimes because when you say them quickly and then when you write them here and say slowly, it sounds weird. It's like milloin sulla on kesä? No. You have to say them quickly, then it sounds natural. So, milloin sulla on kesäloma? My summer vacation is from June to August. Minun kesälomani on kesäkuusta elokuuhun. Colloquially, this would be mun kesäloma on kesäkuusta elokuuhun. And the N is dropped, or it could be also said, but kesäkuusta elokuuhun. Mun kesäloma on kesäkuusta elokuuhun. So if you want to say from some month to until some other month, you just take these two columns and say from something to something. Tammikuusta helmikuuhun, helmikuusta joulukuuhun, huhtikuusta kesäkuuhun. And in colloquial speech, you would just drop the last A, tammikuust, helmikuust, maaliskuust, and here the N. Sometimes you could actually in colloquial speech say it like here, or just omit the last N. Huhtikuuhu, toukokuuhu, kesäkuuhu. When is the best time to visit Finland? Milloin on paras aika vierailla Suomessa? Or milloin on paras aika vierailla Suomessa? And vierailla requires that the noun or the place which you visit is in innocent case, Suomessa. Between June and August, if you want to see midnight sun. Kesäkuun ja elokuun välissä, jos haluat nähdä yöttömän yön. So yötön yö is the midnight sun. And here to see, if you want to see, nähdä requires that this one is yöttömän yön. This might be actually now in accusative or is it genitive? I think it's probably accusative here. And välissä between, it's a postposition. So this word requires that kesäkuu and elokuu are in genitive. Like we can see here, so genitive is here. And if you say between something, you say, for example, tammikuun ja helmikuun välissä, between. So of January and of February, between. That's the logic here. Between March and October, maaliskuun ja lokakuun välissä. So pick a month, ja the other month, and then in the end, välissä. Now you know how to say between something. Here is the colloquial form. Kesäkuun ja elokuun välis, jos haluat nähdä yöttömän yön. So we only change välis. Välissä becomes välis. Haluat becomes haluut. So the diphthong, the ua, becomes u, long u, haluut. And otherwise it's, nähdä becomes nähdä. In December, if you want to see the Santa Claus. Joulukuussa, jos haluat nähdä joulupukin. Or joulukuussa, jos haluat nähdä joulupukin. So inessive for the month, joulukuussa. And haluat becomes haluut, nähdä becomes nähdä. And joulupukki is Santa Claus in the basic form, but here, because nähdä is here, you want to see the Santa Claus. Santa Claus needs to be declinated. Let's check now which case was that. I think it's accusative. Yeah, it's the accusative case. Before June or after August, if you want to avoid the mosquitoes. Ennen kesäkuuta tai elokuun jälkeen, jos haluat välttää hyttyset. So, ennen kesäkuuta, before June. So the month has to be in partitive. Ennen kesäkuuta tai or elokuun jälkeen, after August. And jälkeen is a postposition, so you put this after the month, and the month has to be in genitive. So this might be a bit confusing because first we have a preposition, or is it a preposition in, or is it just a particle, or I don't know. But ennen, and then the month in partitive, and then the month in genitive plus after, jälkeen. Jos, if, haluat, you want, välttää, to avoid, hyttyset, the mosquitoes. Colloquially, ennen kesäkuuta tai elokuun jälkeen, jos haluat välttää hyttyset, so the only changes are jälkeen becomes jälkeen, and haluat becomes halut. And let me show again from the charts. So before, ennen tammikuuta, ennen helmikuuta, ennen plus partitive, before January, before February. So ennen plus tammikuuta, helmikuuta, maaliskuuta. And then after January, tammikuun jälkeen. So this column. So if you want to say after something, then tammikuun jälkeen, helmikuun jälkeen, maaliskuun jälkeen, huhtikuun jälkeen, toukokuun jälkeen. Before, ennen toukokuuta, ennen kesäkuuta, ennen heinäkuuta, ennen elokuuta. But after these months, then it's heinäkuun jälkeen, elokuun jälkeen, syyskuun jälkeen. So I hope now you know how to say after and before certain months. When do you have to change winter tires? Milloin täytyy vaihtaa talvirenkaat? And this is in passive. So because here, yeah, I think it's natural to have this phrase in passive voice. So in English, you just say, or you, when do you have to change, meaning passive form. In Finnish, it's like this. Milloin täytyy vaihtaa talvirenkaat? It would be unnatural to say, milloin sinun täytyy vaihtaa talvirenkaat? So it's a bit different from English. So when have to change talvirenkaat, winter tires. So talvirengas in singular, talvirenkaat is a plural. They are actually talvirengas, talvirenkaat, that's the nominative, but here it's actually accusative, but it doesn't change. It's the same form. And of course, let me know if I make some errors. I might actually like forget or like mix if it's nominative or accusative, because if the endings are same. But I'm pretty sure this far I've said everything correctly, but I might of course make some mistakes because I'm a native speaker and I don't usually have to think, okay, which case is this? And here, colloquially, the same. Milloin täytyy vaihtaa talvirenkaat? Milloin pitää vaihtaa talvirenkaat? Täytyy or pitää. I'm not sure if they are synonyms, but I would say they are. Milloin täytyy, milloin pitää. Maybe like must and have to, and maybe there are some slight differences. And the answer before December. So ennen joulukuuta. But I already showed you how to say before and after. But here, again, you can see ennen joulukuuta. When do you have to change summer tires? Milloin täytyy vaihtaa kesärenkaat? or milloin täytyy vaihtaa kesärenkaat? Yeah, the only difference is milloin becomes millo or millon. Millo. Yeah. Millo or millon. Milloin täytyy vaihtaa? Milloin täytyy vaihtaa? After April. Huhtikuun jälkeen. What season is it now? Mikä vuoden aika nyt on? So season, vuoden aika comes from two words. Vuosi plus aika. And then vuosi in genitive, vuoden. Like the years plus time. The years time. Vuoden aika. Now it's summer. Nyt on kesä. So you can ask any season like this. You just pick the basic form of the season. Nyt on kevät, nyt on kesä, nyt on syksy, nyt on talvi. What is your favorite season? Mikä on sinun lempivuoden aikasi? Colloquially, mikä on sun lempivuoden aika? Sinun becomes sun. And lempivuoden aikasi, you just drop the suffix here. So the suffixes are, they show who possesses something. So minun lempivuoden aikani, sinun lempivuoden aikasi, hänen lempivuoden aikansa, meidän lempivuoden aikamme, teidän lempivuoden aikanne, heidän lempivuoden aikansa. You just drop the suffixes and you put it in the basic form. Mikä on sun lempivuoden aika? My favorite season is autumn. Minun lempivuoden aikani on syksy. Mun lempivuoden aika on syksy. So minun becomes mun, lempivuoden aikani becomes lempivuoden aika. Like I said before. So this is quite straightforward. You can find from the chart all the names of the seasons and you can, yeah, this is quite easy. What do you like to do in different seasons? Mitä tykkäät tehdä eri vuoden aikoina? So what you like to do different vuoden aikoina? So this is in the essive case in plural. Yeah, vuoden aikoina, yes. And again, I don't know why it's in essive, not, for example, in inessive or some of the locative cases. But like you have seen in this lesson and some of the past lessons, essive is sometimes also used in this kind of like expressions of time, like this year, tänä vuonna. Okay, now all these different activities in different months. In summer, I like to swim. Kesällä tykkään uida. So in summer, kesällä, that's adhesive case. Syksyllä, talvella, keväällä. And tykkään, you conjugate the tykätä verb, tykätä. So I like tykkään. The second verb is in infinitive. Tykkään uida. In autumn, I like to hike. Syksyllä tykkään vaeltaa. In winter, I like to ski. Talvella tykkään hiihtää. In spring, I like to walk. Keväällä tykkään kävellä. And all of these in colloquial speech would be actually almost the same, but Kesällä becomes kesällä. Syksyllä becomes syksyllä. Talvella becomes talvel. And keväällä becomes keväällä. But otherwise the same. So you can now practice that. Here is the column for these forms. In spring, summer, autumn, winter. You can now think about more questions where the answer is like in summer or in winter. What season is after winter? Mikä vuoden aika on talven jälkeen? So what season is like, and then the month, no, the season in genitive and jälkeen. It's the same as you learned in the case of the months. So ennen plus partitive, ennen kevättä, ennen kesää, ennen syksyä, ennen talvea, like before spring, summer, autumn, winter, or after spring, then it's genitive. Kevään jälkeen, after summer, kesän jälkeen, after autumn, syksyn jälkeen, after winter, talven jälkeen. Just like here, I taught how to say before January, ennen tammikuuta, after January, tammikuun jälkeen. The same logic with the seasons. Spring is after winter, kevät on talven jälkeen. Yeah, I think I said that. What season is before autumn? Mikä vuoden aika on ennen syksyä? Summer is before autumn. Kesä on ennen syksyä. So ennen syksyä, yeah, that should be quite easy now. What season is between winter and summer? Mikä vuoden aika on talven ja kesän välissä? So now both are in genitive. And the word between comes after both of the seasons. Talven ja kesän välissä. So of winter and of summer between. That's the logic. Spring is between winter and summer. Kevät on talven ja kesän välissä. So nominative, so basic form, kevät on is talven ja kesän välissä. Again, these are the things that are in between something are in genitive. So of winter and of summer between. So talven ja kesän välissä. This is the logic you need to learn. When can you see the northern lights? Milloin voi nähdä revontulia? It can be also, milloin voi nähdä revontulet? Revontulia is like abstract. Revontulet is like specific. So in this case, like revontulet as the phenomenon. When can you see the phenomenon of revontulet? But revontulia, it's a bit hard to, when you already know that there are northern lights and you're like, okay, when in general, I don't know how to explain well this one here, but these both are correct ways. I would probably rather say milloin voi nähdä revontulia. Yeah, maybe that's what I would use, but both are correct. From autumn to spring. Syksystä kevääseen. Let's see if we have the charts here. Yeah, from to. So syksystä, from autumn to spring, kevääseen. Or keväästä kesään, or syksystä talveen, or talvesta kesään. You just need these two columns to say from a season to another season. But if I want to give you a good answer for the Northern Lights, that would be from late autumn to early spring. So that would be loppusyksystä alkukevääseen. You just add loppu, which means end. So loppusyksystä, loppukeväästä, lopputalvesta, loppukesästä. So that means just late autumn, spring, winter. And if you want to say early spring, early winter, you just put alku, beginning, like as a prefix in front of the season. And also, let me tell you, like mid autumn, you would just put keski. Keski kesästä, keski kesään. You just put the endings normally, but you don't need to modify at all the prefixes, loppu, alku, mid, keski, lop, early, alku, mid would be keski, and late would be loppu. So now you have here plus this season. And in the basic form, alkukesä, alkukevät, alkutalvi, alkusyksy, keskikesä, keskitalvi, keskisyksy, loppukevät, loppukesä. Yeah, you can form these any way you want. Sometimes it's useful because, for example, the seasons might be long, and in autumn, for example, it's in the end of September and early October when you can see northern lights, and again in the like late March and early April when you can see them. So you might need to say early, mid, late, and the month or the season name. All right, now you should know all the vocabulary. So you should have all the answers for the fill in the blank spaces in your fill in the blanks notebook. Yeah. And also, if you have the ultimate Finnish notebook, you should now understand everything in this page. And in addition, I think you have some content from this lesson to write on the empty write page, which is empty graph paper. And if not, you can try to create some additional phrases using these structures here, and creating your own questions and answers about what happens in different months or seasons or years. And yeah, I think if you do this, you have a really good foundation about speaking about the months. And last time you learned the weeks, so you already know quite much if you understand all up to now, all the six episodes that we have plus the intro. And now after the vocabulary section, I have the cultural, and it's usually the culture section, but now when we talk about the months, I think I'll give you also some like travel tips. Of course, I could give these also in like weather chapter, which is probably chapter number 9 and traveling chapter. But when we talk about months, I think it's important to know what happens here in Finland in different months. So let's first look at the whole year. Then I have a list of weird Finnish events, like sports events. So you might have heard that in Finland we have a lot of really weird like activities in summer, particularly in summer, because after the long winter, we have long days, and probably that's why Finns go crazy and we want to like make most of the summer. So I've got a list here about all the crazy events that I found. And in July, okay, it's interesting that in June there is nothing, but most of the events are in either July or August. So Eukon Kanto, I have all the names here in Finnish because then you can Google and see some interesting things. Like if you Google Eukon Kanto, Eukon Kanto, you can see something weird happening here. Some guys carrying women here. This is the wife carrying world championship. Let's see if my picture is here as well. I participated in this actually as well. Oh yeah, look at this. It's yeah, it's me. So I'm here participating in the wife carrying world championship. And Eukon Kanto, it doesn't mean wife carrying. Eukko is an old word for maybe hag, or what is it in English? Old hag or something like that. So Eukko is like, it means an old lady. I think it used to mean wife, but nowadays it's not the worst word, but it's not the best. So Eukon Kanto, carrying of the uh, let me check. Eukko englanniksi. Yeah, it says old woman. Slut. It's not a slut. No, no, no. It definitely is not this one. We have words for that, but anyways, eukon kanto. So eukko is the basic form, but eukon is in genitive. Eukon kanto. Kanto means carrying, carrying of the old one. Eukon kanto. Suopotkupallo. So potkupallo is an old word for jalkapallo, football. Suo means swamp. So these are in July. In August, we have ilmakitaran soitto, air guitar, playing air guitar, rautakanki kävely. Rauta is iron, and rautakanki is like iron stilt. Kävely is walking with the iron stilts. And like I found that these are still organized, but there are some events that have been organized before, but not anymore. Chilin syönti, eating chili. Sääsken tappo, killing mosquitoes. Saappaan heitto, throwing the rubber boot. Saunumisen MM. MM means maailman mestaruuskisat, world championship. And most of these are actually like this is Eukon kannon MM-kisat, suopotkupallon MM-kisat. So you have to put it in the genitive and put the MM-kisat in the end. All of them are like world championships or Finnish championships, at least Eukon kanto, suopotkupallo, which is a bit like humoristic because I mean no one else is going to organize the world championship carrying your wife. Um, Actually, you don't need to carry your own wife. I carried a stranger because I was walking across the whole country. The organizers wanted me to participate, and I said I didn't know anyone, so can you get someone to carry? And they got me this lady who I then carried for 240 meters. So that's actually the only event I've participated from these. Anyways, where were we? Sappan heitto, yeah. Saunomisen MM-kisat. So this is the saunominen is like the going into the sauna. So the sauna world championship. Kännykän heitto. Kännykkä is a cell phone with two Ks. Kännykkä. Kännykän heitto is like throwing the cell phone. Kesäpilkki. This is actually a dialect. It's pilkki. Pilkki means, or pilkkiminen, winter fishing. But pilikki is in a dialect. So summer, winter fishing. Yeah, it's weird. WC-rullan heitto, throwing the toilet paper. Yeah, I didn't even know about this one. And then there was actually the world championship in farting as well. Let's find that. Piereskelian MM. And let's check this one. It's not available anymore. But I found some news that it was a French guy who won it, and they measured the level of noise produced. So the loudest fart won. I don't know if they have many categories, but the last event was organized in 2012 or 2011. Yeah, so if you want to participate in the crazy summer events, then July and August are the best. Ruska. So ruska is a good word that you could actually write in your notebook. Ruska, it's a period of time in autumn when everything is in yellow, like golden colors, yellow, red, purple. Ruska is the word that means that. So ruska, we have ruska in northern Finland, Pohjois-Suomessa, so in northern Finland, in September, and ruska in southern Finland, Etelä-Suomessa, is in October. For example, in Helsinki, usually the first week of October, but here in Lapland, around mid-September to late September, and it's usually over in 1 week, 2 weeks, the peak ruska. So it's not easy to see the best ruska, and every year it's not that good. Like it is beautiful, but some years are much better than the others. And here I have some things that might interest people who are learning Finnish and want to visit Finland. So midnight sun, if you want to see the midnight sun, June and July are the best, but it started getting quite bright in May already. May is good, but June is the best because the longest day in June is June 21st, June 22nd. So the midsummer celebration, Juhannus, is then. And then July is very good. The midnight sun ends in August usually. It depends on where in Finland you are, because in the northernmost parts of Finland, it's very different than southernmost. But generally, all over Finland, June and July are very good. Colder at night, so the opposite when it's very dark. That's from, well, December and January are the darkest, but it starts getting quite dark in October, November. Like the closer you come to December, the darker it gets. And February is still dark. In March, the days are getting longer and longer. So it's getting much better, but March is also quite dark. But in April, you see a huge difference, like early April and then late. But like best times if you want a lot of darkness is December and January. School vacations. Usually they start the first day during the first days of June, and they end around like 10th to 15th of August. In Finland, it varies a lot because we don't have this similar system as many ex-Soviet countries where everyone starts September 1st. We don't have anything like that. It varies. Northern Lights. So there are two times when, so basically you can see them from September to April as soon as it's dark enough. But based on the like location of Earth, um, and the direction of the axis of the Earth, there are some times which are better, like between September, October, late September, early October, or late March, early April. Like later in April, it starts getting too bright. So in the middle of winter, it's not the best because Earth's axis, the magnetic field, it's not in the ideal position towards the sun. But of course, you can see any time between September and April if you have luck. We didn't have that much luck last winter. I was a Northern Light Northern Lights guide, but I managed to see only twice, and twice like really dim ones, so four out of maybe 60 shifts that I had. So yeah, it's not easy. Snow. If you haven't seen snow in your life and you really want to have a lot of snow, December, January, March, no, February, December, January, February, March. I would say those are good. Sometimes in southern Finland, you don't have snow in Christmas. It might come and go. For example, here in Rovaniemi, we got snow last year in the end of October, and but it melted. But during November, we got permanent snow, and it lasted until was it April? We still had some spots of like some small piles of snow in May here, but I would say the best situation with the snow is between this time. Maybe it's a bit safer in February. I would say February, March, because then you already have some time when the snow has piled up in maybe December or January. The more north you go, the better the situation is. For example, here in Lapland, in Rovaniemi, which is the biggest city in Lapland, yeah, we had a lot of snow here. And the benefit of coming here in, I would say, March or early April is that it's getting much warmer, but we still have snow. So December, January, February, they could be really, really cold, minus 30, -40 even. Like I said, autumn colors, you already showed you here. Summer cottage. So summer cottage is a place we, okay, my family doesn't have a summer cottage, but there's always someone who has a summer cottage in your circle of friends. And usually during the school vacation, people like to go to the summer cottage, and the ideal summer cottage is by the lake or river or sea. So you can go in the sauna, and after that swim in water. Not always you even have a sauna, but yeah, I personally like it when there is a sauna, because the water doesn't get super warm even in summers. It gets like 20 plus degrees, but not tropical like somewhere in the Caribbean. Um, but yeah, summer cottages are really nice, and many summer cottages are not even meant to be used during the winter. They might not have running water, so actually the facilities are not the most modern, but that's actually part of it, part of the experience. And you might not have even a toilet inside. You might have a, like, I don't know how to call it, ulko, outdoor shower. It's shower. It's the place outside where you go to toilet. Outhouse. Is it outhouse? Yeah, anyways. Yeah, I guess it's an outhouse. Some of course have more modern equipment, toilets and electricity. Like some of these don't have even electricity. Some have maybe solar panels and then limited power supply. And of course, some people might also use some cottages outside June and August. If it's warm in May or September, October. Berries. So like you might know, in Finland, we can freely pick all the berries in nature. Blueberries, here in the north of Finland, cloudberries. I will show you cloudberries. Cloudberries don't grow in southern Finland. They grow only in northern parts of Finland. Then we have like what is it? I can't remember, but many different kinds of berries, and most of them are ready to be like ripe during July, end of July or during August. But there are also some berries that are ripe between September, October. The mushroom period is in August, September. I don't know that much about mushrooms. I mostly have picked, like collected um, blueberries, blueberries and some other berries as well, but mostly blueberries. Hiking, well, hiking is something that's a bit difficult during winter, but from May to October, it's quite good. In October, it starts getting much colder, so I would say September is better if you want to see the autumn colors, the ruska. So June, July, August, really good for hiking because it's warm. Winter sports, I would say December, between December and March, maybe April as well, depending on which part of Finland you're visiting, but mostly between December and March. Like I said before, December, January, February might be really cold. So in March, you might have a lot of snow still, and it's much warmer. All right, I think I have said everything I wanted to say about months now. So you could actually also here's an idea for you. If you Google all these different events, you can also try to write in your empty pages when these different events are, like Eukonkanto on heinäkuussa, is in July, or is organized, järjestetään, Eukonkannon MM-kisat järjestetään heinäkuussa. And then like the question, when is this event organized? Milloin tämä tapahtuma järjestetään? You can try to think some questions or about these ones. Of course, you can also write some of these if they are weather related later in chapter number 9, when we talked about weather, or when we talk about sports or free time, the chapters for sports and free time, you can write about these. But also, I think this chapter might be suitable also, talking about these. Anyways, the idea with the empty pages of the fill in the blanks notebook and the ultimate Finnish notebook is that you write content on the empty right page that's relevant for you, because now you already know the left page. This is the left page, you already have the answers. This is the left page for the other book. You have everything here. Now these are your building blocks to learn more. And after you have also filled in the whole right page, you have now 2 pages full of content about the topic months. Then you can take your book and just practice it with the native speaker, with the language tutor or your language buddy or anyone, and just master the vocabulary that you have learned. So that was all about this time. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode. Bye.